Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your Master of Ceremonies, 2007 Agribusiness Award recipient, Al Guston.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the 48th anniversary of Harvest Bowl. My name is Al Guston, proud alumnus Ag Econ 1969. I'll be your host for this evening. If you'd like, if you haven't already, you can begin eating your salads. Tonight we celebrate the achievements, accomplishments, and successes on farms and ranches, in agribusiness, and in NDSU athletics. North Dakota State University has played and continues to play a pivotal role in the lives and livelihoods of people across this region. Tonight we are here to celebrate the continuation of success among the region's agriculturalists and Bison student athletes.
Welcome to the Harvest Bowl, a proud NDSU tradition since 1973. We celebrate the strong connection between Bison athletics and agriculture in our region with a special banquet and game every year. Many NDSU student athletes learn dedication and work ethic on farms and ranches across the region. They bring that same determination to the field when they compete as NDSU Bison. We're proud to celebrate agriculture and athletics with the annual Harvest Bowl. Go Bison!
As a land-grant university, we're proud to educate the next generation of farmers, ranchers, and citizens in the classroom and through NDSU Extension and the North Dakota Agricultural Experiment Station. Agriculture is North Dakota's #1 industry. We lead the nation in the production of many agricultural products, including durum wheat, various dried bean and pulse crops, oil seeds, sunflowers, and honey. We also have a strong livestock industry, primarily with beef cattle. Each year, outstanding agriculturists from every North Dakota county and several western Minnesota counties are honored at the Harvest Bowl banquet alongside the Agribusiness Person of the Year. The Agribusiness Award recognizes an individual who has distinguished themselves in the field of agriculture and business in North Dakota and beyond. Over the years, NDSU student athletes with backgrounds in agriculture or those who are studying agriculture have been awarded more than $425,000 in scholarships thanks to the generosity of Harvest Bowl supporters and sponsors. Join us in celebrating excellence in agriculture, education, and Bison athletics with the NDSU Harvest Bowl.
Please take a moment to notice the beautiful and unique floral displays at each of the tables. Thanks to Susie Thompson, the Associate Professor and Potato Breeder here at NDSU. Every year she puts together wonderful floral centerpieces for this event with the help from students and friends. This year she was assisted by Horticulture Club and Plant Science students and staff members. It looks like they had a fun time, and thank you for all your work. At this time, I'd like to introduce Harvest Bowl Chair Dwayne Houck. Dwayne has deep roots with Harvest Bowl. After graduating with a degree in agricultural mechanization in 1976, Dwayne started his more than 35-year career with NDSU Extension. His first job was an assistant agent in Stutsman County. He went on to become the director for NDSU Extension until he retired. Please welcome to the stage this year's Harvest Bowl Chairman, Dwayne Houck.
Thanks, Al, and thanks again for emceeing tonight's event. And welcome, everyone, to this year's Harvest Bowl event. It's the 48th Harvest Bowl, so thank you all for being here. You know, after a lot of years of working in Extension, I had the opportunity to work with a lot of farmers and ranchers across the state. And no matter the year, your job was never easy. We often say that work teaches us grit and gratitude, which are wonderful characteristics. But the reality is that the jobs you do are tough, and we're here tonight to recognize your successes. So congratulations from me to all of our county honorees. And I also want to extend my own personal congratulations to tonight's agribusiness honoree, who you'll get to meet a bit later on tonight. I had the opportunity to work with our business honoree for a number of years, and I can attest firsthand that the impact he had not only on agriculture across our state and region, but also at our university was very significant. As you can imagine, tonight's event involves a lot of people, and it requires a number of months in preparation and collaboration. So I'd like to start out by thanking Patty Floggin with NDSU Extension. Patty works directly with our county extension offices on the honoree selection process and provides all the information out to you honorees for this weekend's events. I'd also like to thank the NDSU Foundation as well as NDSU Athletics for their continued partnership with NDSU Agriculture to bring us all together in celebration. And I'd like to thank our Harvest Bowl committee members who are responsible for helping to organize this event. So would you all please stand and let's give them a round of applause. I'd also like to thank our Ag Ambassadors for their help with this evening's activities. And finally, a special thank you to our sponsors. Without them, it would be very difficult to pull off an event like this. So with all our sponsors in the room, please stand and let's give them a round of applause. You'll find a list of all of tonight's sponsors on the inside cover of your program. So thank you, sponsors, for your commitment and your investments. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the first student athlete that you'll be hearing from this evening. Jacob, would you please join me on the stage? Jacob Rodine is a senior mid-distance runner on the NDSU men's track and field team and is majoring in ag economics and finance. He's a recipient of the Farmers National Foundation Harvest Bowl Scholarship and the John and Kay Dean Harvest Bowl Scholarship. Jacob is from Kenmare, and his parents are Lenny and Sue. Jacob, lead us in the blessing, would you?
Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you that we can all gather here this evening and celebrate farmers and ranchers. From them, we learn that hard work and dedication are not only a trait, but a lifestyle. God, I pray that all farmers and ranchers would seek to honor and glorify you with the gifts you have blessed them with. Thank you, God, for the ones here tonight that have chosen to do that by donating their resources so that athletes like me can pursue an agricultural degree without the stress of a financial burden. That gift of time invites students to invest further in their futures. For me, that has led to a deeper relationship with Christ. As we gather tonight, thank you for this meal. I pray that you would bless the hands that prepared it and bless it to our bodies. Amen.
Enjoy your dinner. The program will resume after dinner is served. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your Master of Ceremonies, 2007 Agribusiness Award recipient, Al Guston.
Thank you, and hello again. Please join me in giving a round of applause to the Delta by Marriott team for a wonderful meal this evening. And a special thanks to Tom Campbell for donating the potatoes that were used in tonight's meal. I'd like to begin our program now with some brief remarks from NDSU's Vice President for Agricultural Affairs, Greg Lardy.
Good evening, everyone. I've got the privilege of serving as Vice President for Agricultural Affairs here at NDSU, and it's the best job in the world. I get to interact every day with students and producers and people that love agriculture and want to support this university. I'm going to start out by thanking everyone for coming tonight. It's great to see such a fantastic crowd in the room. We want to be here. We're here tonight to really honor our county honorees, and one of the highlights of the evening is hearing just a little bit about the things that they do in their local communities. And if you read their biographies that are in your program, you'll find that they're involved in all sorts of things at the local level, serving on school boards, ambulance boards, a number of different activities that demonstrate a real commitment to rural communities throughout the state. I also want to give a special thank you to the people that are here as donors and supporters of this, our sponsors. Thank you for making this event possible. To the scholarship recipients that are here tonight, congratulations on your athletic and academic achievements. This event brings together the best things about NDSU, including agriculture and athletics. Finally, I want to say a special congratulations to Dr. Ken Grafton. I've had the privilege of knowing Ken for many, many years. He was a mentor of mine during his tenure at NDSU, and I have the privilege of succeeding him in the role as Vice President. And so thank you, Ken, for being here tonight, and thank you for everything that you've done for my career. Much appreciated. Right now, it's my privilege to invite to the stage our governor and NDSU graduate, Governor Doug Burgum. Doug, please come forward.
Good evening, everybody. Wow, what a fantastic evening. And always great to be back with the NDSU family, and great to be back with my real family. Got my sister Barbara, drove up from Minneapolis. I see the Peltiers out here, a whole table full of them. And I'm sure my sister-in-law Julie Burgum is here somewhere. And then there's a lot of other folks like that I went to kindergarten with that I feel like are family too. So hi to Gwen Howe. But anyway, fantastic to be here. What a great evening. And I want to say, first of all, again, congratulations to all the county award winners. Every year, the group that's here, just as Greg was saying, these are people that are, usually both sides of the couple that are being honored are involved in so many things in their community. They're really what makes North Dakota work, and I know that when I travel around the state. So I want to thank NDSU for holding this every year and honoring all these county honorees. That's just awesome. Great to be here with all the scholarship award winners, and I know we're going to hear from some coaches tonight, which gets us all pumped up about all the the big day we have tomorrow. And anyway, it's just like a super fun evening. But it's fun that we're having this game and this event at this time of year, closer to Thanksgiving, because we have so many things for which to be grateful in North Dakota. And this really hit home. It's easy. I mean, we got, we're here. You wouldn't live here if you didn't love it, right? I mean, you'd live someplace else, right? I mean, think about just driving over here. You'd be like, there's 100 reasons why this is where you'd want to be, right? Be like, we're all here because we love it. We know it, but I think we think about the things for which we can be grateful. And I had an opportunity. I was with Dr. Jane Hsu and other leaders from NDSU and about 35 business leaders from around the state. And we were in Japan recently. And here you have a country, and it was part of an official trade mission from the state of North Dakota, 126 million Japanese citizens living in a space the size of North and South Dakota. 126 million. Now, about half that country is mountainous, so then you've got 126 million people living in an area about the size of our state. So think about if you're walking down the street in your hometown and then you see another person, then multiply that times about 130, and that would be the density that you're dealing with. And you say, well, that's fine, they can probably manage that. Average farm size, 4 acres in Japan. I know some people that here have got gardens bigger than that, but it is the energy production in that country for oil and gas is about 0% of what they need. They import 100% of their oil and gas. They import 41% of their electricity comes from lignite that's shipped from Australia to Japan. All that oil and gas coming by ship, all of that coal coming by ship for their electricity comes through the South China Sea. We know that China's got the largest navy in the world. We know that all the tension that's there in that part of the world. And while we were there that week, North Korea fired a rocket over the top of this island with 126 million people in their texting system to let people know that, hey, maybe you should shelter in place. We may be being attacked by a nuclear missile. Didn't work quite well. Not everybody got the message. We didn't. Missile went over the island, landed harmlessly in the sea, but this is the environment. And then 2 days later, OPEC decided to cut oil production by 2 million barrels a day for a country that imports all their energy. And then we sit here tonight at dinner as North Dakotans with 100% food security. We export food all over the world. We export energy all over the world. We have this capability that sometimes I think that in our world today we can fight over some of the craziest things in North Dakota nationally, and we just have to realize that we are the land of abundance. The Japanese companies we met with, over 150 companies with close to $1 trillion of market cap, all the biggest companies, all the biggest trading companies, the Sumitomo's, the Mitsubishi's, the Mitsui's, the Mirabanis, the Toyotas, the JALs, all of those companies, literally in one of the meetings we said, the chairman of Toyota said, we are envious of North Dakota. The chairman of Toyota said that. We're envious of North Dakota. He said, because we do now, we're among one of the youngest states in the nation. We went from being one of the oldest, and now in the last decade, we're now the 4th youngest. If you've got kids or grandkids, you may also know this too, but now we got the highest birth rate in the nation. We have 55,000 kids in North Dakota that are age 5 and under. If you put them all in one spot, that would be the size of Grand Forks. Now you could decide if you want to drive towards that city or away from it. And if you're a grandparent, you'd probably say, well, I'll go for a couple hours and then I'll leave. But they have 800,000 more people a year that are dying that are being born in that country. There are 126 million people headed to 110 million in the next 20 years. Our future is so bright in our country, and one other thing that we have that they don't have is we've also got this incredible gift of geology that gave us the oil and the gas, the incredible gift of the soil that gives us the energy, the biofuels and the food that we can produce through agriculture, and the opportunity for ag and energy to work together, which creates an incredible mission for North Dakota State going forward to bring those two together. But then we've also been given this gift of the geology of CO2. We have the ability in North Dakota to store all the nation's CO2 for the next 50 years. We have 250 billion tons of storage capacity underground. And we have the regulatory framework where the landowners, the farmers, and the ranchers get paid if their CO2 is stored under their ground. We got out from under the EPA. We're one of only 2 states in the nation that has the ability to permit a Class 6 injection well for CO2. And our legislature smartly created a liability structure where we can create an indemnity fund and not have an agenda through ESG that would prevent capital formation to actually decarbonize the fuels that we're making in North Dakota. Whether it's oil and gas or whether it's ethanol or biodiesel, we have an opportunity to lead the world in sustainable aviation fuels. We have now a revenue stream where every ethanol plant can get paid as much money based on a bill that got passed by the federal government in August, which pays $85 a ton for carbon that's sequestered. An ethanol plant can now potentially have a revenue stream equal to selling ethanol. They can get paid for carbon storage. We will be providing the nation stable baseload through coal because we can decarbonize our electricity through storage. And places like Coal Creek, with 1,100 megawatts of power that this country dearly needs, because we don't need to follow the path of Germany and others, we have an opportunity to decarbonize that, and those companies will not only survive but thrive because they have an opportunity to make money on CO2 storage. So if our gifts weren't great enough on the food security and the energy security, we now, as of August, have an entire new business model, and there's going to be an entire new thing, whether it's CO2 going into advanced greenhouses designed by NDSU researchers to help us produce even more food, produce food 12 months a year instead of 6. The opportunities are just absolutely unbelievable. And of course, and I don't want to be political, I'm just saying it's true. This bill got passed in August allowing the direct payment for CO2 because of Senator Joe Manchin arguing it for his state of West Virginia. But then they said, great, yeah, we'll give you the payments, but you got to go get a permit. There's only 2 states that can permit a well. EPA is not going to be giving any permits in the next 2 or 3 years. We have a runway where North Dakota has an opportunity to lead the nation in this area. That is why there is now over $30 billion of capital that showed up on our doorstep that wants to invest in value-added ag and value-added energy in North Dakota. We have never had an opportunity like this before. So as you head into Thanksgiving dinner with your family, and again can be grateful for the financial position our state's in. We can be grateful for the gifts that we've been given in our natural resources. But we also have to have the gratitude that we here, I believe, in our state, have the ability to talk to each other, not about each other. We have the ability to work on solutions. We have the ability to drive forward and not only solve our problems, but solve the problems of the world. And remember what the chairman of Toyota said, I'm envious of North Dakota. He said, you have everything we dream about, and we do. And so with that, I want to say again, thank you to the leadership of NDSU. I want to say thank you to all the scholarship athletes. I want to say thank you to everybody working on research. I want to say thank you to these county, the families, and not the moms and dads and the grandma and grandpa, but your kids and your grandkids and all the people that have stayed here and all the values you've taught them that have made this such an amazing place, because I just have to say on behalf of the First Lady Catherine and myself, we are grateful every day to serve all of you. And I tell you, our best days are ahead of us, regardless of what the weather gives us. We've got the gifts, we got the brains, we got the people that work together to make this thing happen. So with that, I want to say go NDSU. And the last thing I will say is, I was coached to not come up here the night before a game and tell a bunch of stories and jokes about UND, and don't make UND jokes. So I won't do that. I saw them in my notes; they were very funny. I just have to chuckle to myself. But I would share with you that I did have an opportunity a couple years ago to speak at the SU Awards in Grand Forks. Big banquet like this, big screens, lighting on stage. It's the greatest honor that they give to any of their graduates. And I was told there, hey, look, we know you're, a deeply loyal Bison fan. We know that you, played football when you were a freshman, and we know you didn't really cut it, so you became a cheerleader for 3 years. And I'm like, that's all true, but I'm, still a cheerleader for NDSU and for the NDSU Bison. They said, listen, don't tell any Bison jokes tonight, or, Bison Sioux jokes. And I said, okay, I got it. So I got up there, I gave my little talk, and at the end, I said, great to be here. And I just wanted to say, before I was, driving up here tonight, I was with my 2 sons, Joe and Tom. They both live in Fargo. And they said, good luck, Dad. I hope you give a good speech, up in Grand Forks. And I said, yep, thank you, love you. Bye, son. Bye, son.
Thank you, Governor Burgum, and thank you, Greg. We appreciate all the support Harvest Bowl receives from NDSU Extension, the North Dakota Agricultural Experiment Station, College of Agriculture, Food Systems, and Natural Resources, and the state of North Dakota. So thank you for your leadership. So let's begin tonight's recognition with our student athletes. With several events taking place, NDSU Athletics is very busy this weekend, and one of our student athletes had a commitment and couldn't join us. Additionally, a few will have to leave early to prepare for tomorrow's competitions. To introduce the student athlete scholarship recipients, please welcome to the stage Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development, Jack Maughan.
Thank you, Al. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. This is usually where Matt Larson, our athletic director, is. This is really his job, so I'm covering him again. Matt is in Indianapolis. He's on the selection committee for the FCS championships. I'm making those decisions over the weekend. Usually when you're on those committees, it's a one-year term, unless you didn't do that good a job. So that's why Matt is not here this evening. It's a little bit like when Randy Schmeling flunked third grade. So scholarship winners, if you could gather at the on my left, and Emily Sumner will push you up, even you, Cody, when it's time to go. So there you are, Emily, thank you. So in addition to introducing the student athletes, I have the pleasure of introducing the coaches that are here tonight. So first of all, I'd like to recognize Dave Richmond, head men's basketball coach. Dave. Dennis Newell, the head cross-country coach. He must be short, I can't see him. Tyler Oakes, our head baseball coach. And Matt Etz, our head football coach, who you'll be hearing from soon. Thank you for your work, coaches, and helping make Bison Athletics one of the best in the nation. Are the students all gathered? They're quicker this year. Just a couple of brief updates on what's going on in athletics. A lot of the county award winners are coming in tomorrow and taking a campus tour. You might notice that there's a small building just south of the shack that was just opened up a couple weeks ago. That is a $54 million indoor practice facility that is all privately funded, so we're very grateful for a number of the people in the room that help with that. This will serve every sport team that competes outside. So often when you're trying to garner support, you try to sell the why. Well, when you try to sell the why of having a indoor practice facility in North Dakota, it wasn't that tough for people to understand. So we're very grateful for people that are in this room that help with that project as well. I already got lost. So our other priority besides facilities, like I stuck my papers, is just to tell you how much we appreciate the scholarships and endowed scholarships of the Harvest Bowl. That is one of our highest priorities in athletics. So we're grateful for everybody for your support of the Harvest Bowl and what this event provides, not only year-round, but tonight for having this. So do want to show a couple of recent developments other than the facilities. Football is celebrating last year won their 9th FCS championship and 17th overall. Our baseball team, under the guidance of Tyler Oakes, who just waved, They won their first ever Summit League regular season championship and will host the Summit League championship in Fargo. Men's basketball participated and earned their fourth consecutive championship game in the Summit League. Men's track won their 12th consecutive outdoor championship, and the women's and this fall the women's cross country team won the Summit League championship. And just last night, the women's basketball team crushed the University of Minnesota. And not only are student athletes doing well in the competitions, in the classrooms, every team, again, for probably the 5th or 6th straight year, recorded a team GPA of 3.0 or higher. 107 of our student athletes earned the Dean's List recognition for a GPA of 3.5 to 4.0, and 98 of our student athletes had a perfect 4.0. So now I'll introduce our recipients. First up, Braden Brown. Braden is a sophomore majoring in agricultural economics and is a high jumper and long jumper for the NDSU men's track and field team. He's a recipient of the Levon C. Kirkide and Friends Harvest Bowl Scholarship. Braden is from Bismarck, North Dakota. His parents are Shannon and Paula Brown. He enjoys hunting, fishing, and just being outside. Braden Brown. Hunter Brosio is a recipient of the Hefty Seeds Harvest Bowl Scholarship, the Gooseneck Green Iron Equipment Harvest Bowl Scholarship, and the Lyndon and Kathy Johnson Harvest Bowl Scholarship. He is from Lakeland, Florida, and he is a fullback on the NDSU football team. His parents are Jeff and Debbie Brosio. His family raised cattle, thoroughbred racehorses when Hunter was growing up, which inspired him to become a veterinarian. Jackson Edwards is a pitcher on the NDSU baseball team from Duluth, Minnesota. He is a junior majoring in natural resource management and the son of Dennis and Marissa Edwards. Jackson is a recipient of the Gene Dahl Scholarship and the Law Family Scholarship. We asked students if they could share a funny story about their childhood that we might share on stage, and Jackson's submission was pretty good. Jackson has a twin brother. When they were in the 5th grade, they switched classrooms, betting that their teachers wouldn't notice. The boys and their classmates thought it was quite funny when it took most of the day for one of the teachers to notice the swap. Julie Girardi is also majoring in natural resource management. She's a daughter of Paul and Mandy Girardi and is from Hibbing, Minnesota. Julie is a freshman pole vaulter on the women's track and field team. She is the recipient of the Scott and Ann Dahl Family Scholarship. I think Scott was a pole vaulter. Julia enjoys playing the guitar, fishing, spending time outdoors, and after completing her degree, she wants to become a wildland firefighter. Julia Girardi. Cody Mock. Cody Mock is a recipient of the number 64 Bob and number 58 Bruce Yagi Father-Son Football Scholarship and the Ron and Karen Offit Scholarship. Cody is a senior offensive tackle for the Bison football. He earned his degree in agricultural and biosystems engineering. He is the son of Joseph and Stacy Malk and grew up in Hankins, North Dakota. Cody is, there's more. Cody has 7 siblings, 4 sisters and 3 brothers, and has a chocolate lab named Motley, which, fun fact, is the same name of one of President Cook's dogs. Cody Mock. Mason Miller. Mason is a junior offensive tackle for Bison football, and Mason's not here this evening, or else he'd be limping up. He just broke his leg last weekend and just had surgery. But Mason is the recipient of the Hefty Seeds Harvest Bowl Scholarship, the Titan Machinery Scholarship, and the Nipstead Family Athletic Scholarship. Mason is from Ada, Minnesota. His parents are Paul and Don Miller. Mason says growing up on a farm taught him hard work, dedication, and showed him how to take pride in his work. Mason Miller. Andrew Morgan is a sophomore forward on the men's basketball team. He is majoring in agribusiness and is the recipient of the Hefty Seed Harvest Bowl Scholarship. Andrew is from Waseca, Minnesota, and is the son of Keith and Lori Morgan. Here's another childhood story for you. Andrew's sister once gave him a glass of muddy water from a puddle and told him it was nature's chocolate milk. He fell for it and drank the whole glass. How old were you, Andrew, when you did that? 4? It was just last year. Andrew Morgan. Owen Pence, who is not in attendance, their wrestling team is currently wrestling Binghamton University at the Shack. Owen Pence is a junior wrestler from Morgan, Utah. He is the son of Eli and Chrissy Pence and is majoring in general agriculture. Owen is a recipient of the Patrick Benedict Memorial Harvest Bowl Scholarship and the Ron and Karen Offit Scholarship. And again, he is not in attendance tonight. So Owen Pence. Jacob Rodine, a senior middle distance runner on the men's track and field team, is majoring in agricultural economics and finance. He is a recipient of the Farmers National Foundation Harvest Bowl Scholarship and the John and Kay Dean Harvest Bowl Scholarship. Jacob is from Kenmare, North Dakota. He says, and parents are Lenny and Sue Rodine. He says growing up on the farm taught him endless lessons, including hard work, never stop learning, and how to treat people with respect. Jacob Rodine. Josh Streit. Josh Streit is a sophomore majoring in agricultural business from Watkins, Minnesota. He is the son of Richard and Sue Streit and is a forward on the men's basketball team. Josh is a recipient of the NDSU Harvest Bowl Scholarship and the Red River Commodities Scholarship. Josh grew up on a beef cattle farm with 3 older brothers, one of which, Jacob, is on the football team. Josh Streit. Annika Stansbury is an animal science major from West Fargo, North Dakota. She is the daughter of Justin and Tanessa Stansbury and runs for the cross-country team, which just captured the Summit League title last month. Annika is a recipient of the Pamela and Brent Jenkins Harvest Bowl Scholarship and the Heddle Family Scholarship. After completing her degree, she plans on pursuing a career as a large animal veterinarian. Speaking of a large animal, Spencer Wagey is a 6th-year senior majoring in general agriculture. He is the recipient of the Hefty Seeds Harvest Bowl Scholarship and the Bob and Darlene Yagi Scholarship. Spencer is from South Shore, South Dakota, and is the son of Lynn and Lana Wagey. He enjoys working on old John Deere tractors. He recently added a Model 44 John Deere plow to his collection. Spencer Wagey. Gray Zabel. Gray is an offensive guard for the Bison football, majoring in agribusiness. He's a junior from Pierce, South Dakota. His parents are Mark and Tana Zabel. Gray is the recipient of the Darrell Larson Family Scholarship and the Myron and Muriel Johnsrud Harvest Bowl Scholarship, and the Glenn Ellingsburg and Alice Stouse Harvest Bowl Scholarship. You must be really smart, Gray. We have one last childhood story. Gray has an aversion to pancake syrup after his brother bet him that he could not drink an entire bottle. Gray accepted the challenge and almost immediately regretted the victory. The lesson here is to never meet a sibling's dare and everything in moderation. So, that concludes the recognition of our recipients. At this time, I'd like to invite Cody Mauk, another large animal, to say a few words on behalf of this year's Harvest Bowl recipients.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. So my name's Cody Mauk. I'm a sixth year senior. I don't know, you lose track of the years after all the years here. But so I graduated with agricultural engineering. I grew up in Hankinson, North Dakota, just south of here, probably 45 minutes. Dad farms, and I'm the second oldest of 8 kids. I'm sure their thought process there was that's a lot of free farm help. So come from a big family, really blessed with that. But so, being a North Dakota guy as well, it's always been my dream to come to NDSU and, to potentially play sports too. So when the offer came that, I could play football at NDSU, I jumped on it. So I was a walk-on originally for the first 3 years, I think, and then I earned a scholarship. So, I've kind of been on both sides of it, having a scholarship and not. So it's really built an appreciation for me what everyone does and what a scholarship can mean to a kid. And, on behalf of all of us, the Harvest Bowl Scholarship award winners, we'd like to thank all of you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything you guys do for us, and go Bison.
Thank you, Cody. And now, as promised earlier, please welcome to the stage NDSU's head football coach, Matt Entz.
I too want to tell everyone how appreciative I am to be here. This is probably my 3rd or 4th year being in attendance, and sometimes I wonder, why do you want a football coach to talk at an event like this? And then I quickly go through my Rolodex of memories and remember that I'm an expert rock picker upper, bean walker, hay thrower, manure scooper, and so all those experiences have probably given me a little bit of ability to come and talk to you guys. But for those who are first-time attendees, I did grow up on a farm. It was called Fairfield Farm. It's a 3rd-generation farm, 100-year farm in Black Hawk County in northeast Iowa. And it was an unbelievable experience. The older I get, the more appreciative I am of my experience there. And so a couple quick stories and just, kind of give you a little bit of insight on who I am. I turned 50 this year, and so every time I get to go down memory lane, that lane gets longer and longer now. But, I'm old enough that when I went to kindergarten, it was half day. A lot of people remember that. I went in the afternoon, and so you know who my daycare was in the morning? It was Dad, my great uncle, and my grandpa. And it started at about 4 o'clock in the morning because we were milking. But to get kind of a long story short, I don't know how many times my kindergarten teacher would call my mom and say, Mrs. Entz, and my mom was a school teacher, your son smells like manure every day when he comes to school. To say that, being 5, 6 years old, I was probably right in the thick of it. But what unbelievable experiences. The second one is, 1980-something, and again, I'm dating myself, probably, early elementary years, you start learning about the executive branch, the legislative branch, Ronald Reagan was probably just recently, voted as president. And all of a sudden, you're as a young student, you're hearing all these, like, man, he's putting together his cabinet, and, young minds are the wheels were turning. And all of a sudden I heard that there was the Secretary of Ag. And I'm like, what? Grandpa's the best farmer I've ever known. Why isn't he that guy? And so those were the people that impacted me as I grew up. And, my growth, our growth of the people in here has greatly been influenced by all of the people that have surrounded us in the agricultural field. Mine in particular, my grandfather, my great uncle, my dad, his brothers. But it was the guy who was picking up the milk. It was the grain elevator operator. It was the neighbors that I'd have to go help, maybe throw some hay for, or when they were on vacation, I might have to go feed their cattle or whatever it might have been. All of those people had an unbelievable impact in my life, just like they did in your life. On a daily basis, I got to be surrounded by people that were grounded in their faith, appreciated hard work, valued sweat equity, held character in high regard, and took pride in the process. Much like I take pride in the process that our young men go through on our football team and within our athletic department. Being a process-driven person, it's never about the stats or never about the results. It's always about the quality and taking the appropriate steps. Never about skipping a step, taking a shortcut, and always doing the right thing. This is no different than the young men in this room. You saw him, O-lineman from Hankinson, North Dakota. He had to take the right steps to put himself in the situation he's in right now. The easy way is to sacrifice, just like you guys. You have to take the right steps, people in the ag world. It's easy to sacrifice steps, not do the right thing, not go above and beyond. You limit growth, you sacrifice yield by taking the easy way. We can never compromise our purpose or our value. Even in the ag industry, we all have a process. This evening, we get to acknowledge a number of county honorees from all over the state and the region. And all these people have been influential in scholarships and the development of our student athletes, especially with your generosity. An investment in agriculture is an investment against hunger, poverty, and billions of people have already reaped the rewards of this. These scholarships allow these young men and women to have the tools to be successful in their future endeavors. We all know that working on a ranch or a farm or in the ag industry requires multiple hats. You have to be an engineer, an agronomist, a vet. You got to be a businessman. You have to have expertise in a little bit of everything to be successful. When I look at the football players and the other student athletes that are in attendance tonight, I think about the common characteristics they all possess. I see work ethic, toughness, honesty, respect, accountability, individuals with huge hearts, and maybe the greatest trait of all, and the reason why they're Bison is they're servant leaders. All of them came to NDSU with these characteristics and have, thank goodness for us, passed them on to their teammates. All of these people were products of a farm and ranch and great people that they were associated with. They tell me tomorrow there's a big game. But at the same time, it is the Harvest Bowl. And it's a celebration of the people in this room and the organizations who are involved in feeding and clothing the world. There is not an individual in our athletic program and on our football team that doesn't appreciate everything you guys do for our state and region and our country. Bison Football, Bison Athletics says thank you to all of you. And I'm going to finish with a quote that I used last year because I think it's so fitting. As a young man growing up, my best friend was my grandfather. And so I spent a lot of time in his red Big Ten Chevy truck. And it seemed like after the markets came on, there was always Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. But in the words of Paul Harvey, and on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker.
So God made farmers and ranchers. God bless everyone who's in attendance, those whose occupation is measured in acres and sweat rather than hours. God bless NDSU and God bless the bison.
So thank you very much. Gotta find my spot here. There we go. Thanks, Coach Hans. Best of luck to you and your players and coaches. We'll be cheering loudly at tomorrow's game. Next, we have the pleasure of hearing from the current NDSU president, the 15th president, Dr. Dave Cook.
Hello, everyone, and those are huge shoes to fill, Coach. That was fantastic, and everybody so far has been amazing. And my wife just said, just say "Go Bison" just now, and you'll be okay. But I'll try to work on that at the end. So, my first Harvest Bowl, our first Harvest Bowl. I just got to let y'all know we're just blown away. This is unbelievable. It's so fun for us to sort of become part of this family and to get to know people. And goal number one for me has been really from day one is just to get out there, get to know people, to hear what y'all need from the new guy, the new president. And looking around the room, I'm really starting to get to meet people, but I think there are 900 of you. So before the end of the night, we'll start a line or something, because I really do want to know who you are, know your story, know what NDSU means to you. I think that's just absolutely incredible. So I had all these ideas. I had Sioux jokes, Governor, and I think you drew the line, so I got to back off on that, but maybe we'll slip a few in. I want you to know that I am blown away every time I see our students come up here, our student athletes, but our students, period. I've spent a bunch of time, even today, being around them. Absolutely first class. The group standing up here is absolutely the best of the best, and I'm just honored and privileged and humbled to have a little bit of a role being around people like that. And everybody in the room who is changing their lives through scholarships and other ways, I just want you to know we're really, really appreciative. You're really making a difference. Even, Cody's story, somebody who walks on the team I don't know how he walked on. We should have probably got him a scholarship right away, Coach. I'm not sure. Seems, but somebody like that who's going to walk on, become a Bison early on, and you're making a difference with scholarships and things. You're really changing people's lives. I really want you to know that. I want you to know how deeply appreciative we are. I see it with athletics. I see it across all kinds of different academic disciplines and all the rest. And so that is something I just want you to know that we're very grateful for. I'm excited about that, but I'm excited to meet the honorees in the room here coming up soon, to see the difference that you make in this great state. My understanding and talking with people is every one of you needs a couple of pages in the booklet that was handed out. We have to shrink it, just to sort of get through the evening, but you're true leaders in your communities making big things happen, and we're incredibly appreciative for what you do there. And I know the honoree, doesn't want me to say it, but we got a wonderful family here and an individual whose legacy and impact on our institution is going to go on. And so thank you, and I'll move on. But we're real grateful for all that you've done, sir. And a couple of things have stuck with me here. Obviously, what this night is all about is agriculture and athletics. Before I ever showed up here, I knew all about NDSU for a couple of reasons, and those two are at the top of the list. Spent a couple of weeks running around the state, meeting many of you, understanding what ag means, what NDSU means, what our extension offices mean, the things we're doing with research, the things we're doing with extension, the things we're doing with outreach. You can see what we've done and how we've impacted this state. You go back, I've heard the story over. We couldn't do this 10 years ago. We couldn't do it 20 years ago because of the kind of work that we're doing and the kind of support that you give us. We're truly changing the state, but it goes long and way beyond that. It's what we do to North Dakota. It's what we do to the region. But even my time, and you pick the community, I feel like I've been to a few. You know, I'll say Williston, out of many I could pick. You know, being out there, meeting people who are international, who want to see what we're doing in agriculture, because what we're doing here makes a big difference. Meeting those people, seeing what they're doing, it just shows the impact and the reach that this institution and candidly this state has on the world, Japan and otherwise, is absolutely unbelievable. And it's something I'm very proud to have a very small part in to help lead. And so we're very grateful to what you all do to help us be successful. And I want you to know that we're waking up every day trying to make you proud of what we're doing. I think we're doing a pretty good job with that. Beyond that, when you're traveling around the state or really anywhere you go, people know who the Bison are. One of the times I was introduced in Bismarck, the governor, I think he was giving me some kudos. He had mentioned that he had been to my undergraduate institution, Iowa State, and my graduate institution, the University of Kansas. He'd been on both of those campuses, and he thought they were beautiful campuses. And then he said, and we walked away with a Bison win both times. So I don't know what he was talking about, but people know across the globe who NDSU is because of ag and a lot of things. People know across the Midwest and across the nation who NDSU is because of athletics and other things. We have an amazing brand. We make an amazing impact. And it's just, tonight is about this perfect marriage that is absolutely unbelievable. And candidly, you all know that better than I do. I'm just letting you know, as the new guy, I'm figuring it out. My wife and I are figuring it out. We're having a great time. We're incredibly grateful for how welcoming everybody has been. So thank you for all of that. I can't wait to meet everybody else up here. Thank you for all the support that you provide to our student athletes and our students, period. We're incredibly grateful. Can't wait to get to know more and more of you. And I'll say it, darling, go Bison.
Thank you, President Cook. In a moment, we will recognize the 2022 county honorees. So we'd ask that all the county honorees would move to their designated chairs. And as the county honorees get ready, we have a special treat tonight. The NDSU Jazz program began in 1970 under the direction of legendary band director Orville Idem. In the nearly 50 years since, the jazz program has performed and toured regionally and nationally, and hosts an annual high school invitational jazz festival featuring the best high school and middle school bands in the region alongside regional and national guest artists. The current band is a mix of music and non-music undergraduate and graduate students. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jazz Lab Band under the direction of Dr. Jeremy Brecky.
I'll use this one. Thanks very much. We're the NDSU Jazz Ensemble, and that was a big blasting blues, we call it. It's kind of a cacophony of blowing, so hope you enjoyed that one. Features a lot of soloists. I won't go through them because we're going to keep going with a couple more tunes. The next one is by Gordon Goodwin. You might have heard of him maybe in some show tunes and so forth. But this is going to be a homage to Tito Puente. It's called Horn of Puente, and it's going to do a cha-cha into a sango, and it's going to feature Herman Rojas on the trumpet and Alejandro on the drums. Here we go, Horn of Puente. All right, Horn of Puente, featuring Herman Rojas and Alejandro on the drums. That was great. We're gonna do one more quick for you. Maybe some of you know of a group called Tower of Power, maybe, and a great funk band. And this is a homage to them, again by Gordon Goodwin. And we're gonna do TOP, it's called TOP for Tower of Power, TOP adjacent. It was great playing for you tonight, and hope you enjoyed it, and have a great night.
Thank you to our NDSU Jazz students. We appreciate your talent. It is now time to recognize the outstanding producers in our region. I invite President Cook and Lydia Lyons to the stage. Lydia is the president of NDSU Ag Ambassadors and is assisting with the awards. She's a senior majoring in agribusiness and animal science and is from Lisbon, North Dakota. Don Wick from the Red River Farm Network and one of tonight's sponsors will give a brief introduction for each honoree from a remote microphone. We are grateful to NDSU Extension for naming these leaders and to Patty Floggen and Elizabeth Cronin for writing the complete honoree bios, which can be found in tonight's program. Let's start recognizing our county honorees. Don, please begin.
Thank you, Al. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. North Dakota State University is proud to recognize the success, dedication, and hard work of outstanding agriculturalists in North Dakota and western Minnesota. The honorees will be introduced with brief comments, but please see that they have many more accomplishments noted in the printed booklets at your tables. Please hold your applause until the end. We hope you enjoy meeting our outstanding 2022 Harvest Bowl County honorees. We begin with Adams County in North Dakota. Todd and Judy Larson raised cattle and crops alongside Todd's parents. They are fourth-generation family operation. This year marks their 44th year selling Sim Angus bulls. Judy is also a grant writer. Congratulations, Todd and Judy. From Benson County, Gary Wald and Jolene Rissoff are teachers for Maddock Public Schools. Gary, a 1974 NDSU graduate, is an agriculture education teacher and has received several awards for his teaching and agriculture program. Congratulations to Gary and Jolene. From Bottineau County, Dannon and Natalie Loden grow wheat, soybeans, and other small grains and have been farming for 14 years. Dannon, a 2005 graduate of NDSU, also is an ag loan officer. Natalie, a 2015 graduate of NDSU, is a substitute teacher. Congratulations, Dannon and Natalie. From Bowman County, Eric and Andrea Bowman run a registered commercial Angus cow-calf operation and custom artificial insemination and custom feeding business. Eric is a 2001 graduate of NDSU. Andrea, a 2003 graduate, is the NDSU Extension Leadership and Civic Engagement Program Coordinator. Congratulations to Eric and Andrea. From Burke County, Stephen and Karen Pfeiffer grow small grains, including spring wheat, durum, barley, canola, and soybeans, using primarily no-till practices. Karen, a 2007 graduate of NDSU, is a victim witness coordinator for the Ward County State's Attorney's Office. Congratulations to Stephen and Karen. From Burley County, Glenn Bauer has been farming for 60 years. He was the first farmer in Burley County to use no-till practices and incorporate grain drying systems. He continues to farm and raise cattle with his sons using a holistic approach to improve the land. Our congratulations to Glenn. From Cass County, Randall and Christy Melvin have been farming for 25 years. They grow corn, soybeans, navy beans, pinto beans, wheat, and rye. Randall, a 1999 NDSU graduate, is a commodity trading associate. Christy, a 2004 NDSU graduate, is a teacher. Congratulations to Randy and Christy. From Cavalier County, Mark and Valerie Cheatley grow small grains, canola, and soybeans, and are working to incorporate soil health strategies. Mark, a 1984 NDSU graduate, is president for the Alson Farmers Elevator. Valerie is a social worker for the Langdon Hospital. Congratulations, Mark and Valerie. From Dickey County, Ginger and Troy Peterson raise beef cattle and grain crops. They background feeder cattle and operate a cow-calf operation and custom feedlot. They also grow feed that is utilized in their cattle operations, including silage, hay, and other feed sources. Congratulations to Ginger and Troy. Representing Divide County, Gene and Michelle Pulvermacher have been farming for 43 years. On their multi-generational farm, they raise peas, canola, flax, spring wheat, durum, and soybeans on a rotation using no-till seeding. Michelle is an administrative assistant with NDSU Extension. Congratulations, Gene and Michelle. From Dunn County, Derek and Angie Ducart grow wheat, barley, oats, sunflowers, corn, and forage, and raise registered and commercial Angus cattle and Savannah goats. Their ranch has been in the family 104 years. Angie, a 1997 NDSU graduate, is a 4-H leader. Congratulations, Derek and Angie. Representing Eddy County, Mark and Luann Seastrand utilized no-till practices to produce wheat, barley, and soybeans. Mark is a township officer and has been on the Cheyenne Fire Department for 32 years. Luann recently retired after teaching for 38 years. Congratulations, Mark and Luann. From Emmons County, Jack and Roberta Nagel and Ryan and Chelsea Nagel operate a diversified third-generation farm and ranch, prioritizing soil health. Roberta is retired and Jack is partially retired. Ryan and Chelsea are graduates of NDSU. Chelsea is a radiology director. Congratulations, Jack and Roberta and Ryan and Chelsea. From Foster County, Cornay and Connie Vandeboff run a dairy operation with the goal of providing consumers with safe and nutritious dairy products using the least possible amount of natural resources. They also educate consumers about dairy production. Congratulations, Cornay and Connie. From Grand Forks County, Nate and Deb Schlief operate a part-time hay and straw baling business. They plant alfalfa and cut and bale hay and straw. Nate, a 1999 graduate of NDSU, works full-time as a technical communication specialist for RDO equipment. Deb is a farm loan officer. Congratulations, Nate and Deb. From Griggs County, Richard and Karen Wall have raised crops for over 45 years using mainly minimum till practices and some no-till acres. They now farm in partnership with their son. Karen is a part-time bookkeeper and secretary. Congratulations, Richard and Karen. From Hettinger County, Brad and Sheila Steiner have a commercial cow-calf operation and raise corn, sunflowers, canola, and wheat using no-till cropping systems. Brad supports the 4-H youth archery program. Sheila is a retired school teacher and was a 4-H club leader. Congratulations to Brad and Sheila. From Kidder County, Troy and Carol Dutton own Steele Veterinary Clinic in Steele, North Dakota. Troy has been a veterinarian at the 6-doctor mixed animal practice for 22 years. Carol is a bookkeeper for the clinic. Troy and Carol are active 4-H volunteers. Congratulations, Troy and Carol. From Lemoore County, Mike and Sherry Wendell own Wendell Livestock, a registered Angus seed stock operation with a 500-head feedlot for finishing cattle, and Wendell Farms, where they produce field corn, silage corn, soybeans, wheat, rye, and alfalfa. Congratulations, Mike and Sherry. From Logan County, Andy and Carla Gross own a ranching operation. Carla is in charge of the day-to-day operations of the ranch, and works for Napoleon Livestock Auction. Andy, a 1989 NDSU graduate, is a district conservationist with USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service. Congratulations, Andy and Carla. From McHenry County, Rod and Peggy Burry and Derek Burry have raised wheat, canola, beans, corn, and beef cattle. They practice no-till farming and have a cow-calf operation, which consists mostly of raised calves. Peggy is a rural mail carrier. Derek is the fire chief for the Drake Volunteer Fire Department. Congratulations, Rod, Peggy, and Derek. From McIntosh County, Dwight and Cheryl Chilling are small grain farmers, operate a finishing feedlot, and have cow-calf pairs. They use no-till farming and cover crops for soil health and for grazing. Cheryl is a public health administrator. Congratulations, Dwight and Cheryl. From McKenzie County, Cameron and Lacey Wallstrom grow small grains along with soybeans, lentils, flax, and canola. Cameron, a 2009 NDSU graduate, recently transitioned to a full-time farming position after working as a research specialist for the NDSU Williston Research Extension Center. Lacey is an owner and operator of Ruby J Boutique. Congratulations to Cameron and Lacey. For McLean County, Brian and Renee Franzen raise field peas, malting barley, hard red spring wheat, soybeans, oilseed sunflowers, and corn using minimum tillage practices and variable rate of application for seed and fertilizer. Renee is a paraprofessional at Underwood Public Schools. Congratulations, Brian and Renee. From Mercer County, Rick and Valerie Bauman have a small cow-calf operation raising forages and small grains. They also have raised sheep, swine, chickens, and geese. Rick is a school bus driver. Valerie ran a barber shop for 20 years. Congratulations, Rick and Valerie and Brianna and Lee. From Morton County, Roger and Vicki Griffin raise beef cattle, butcher hogs, corn, feed grains, and alfalfa using no-till operations. They've been farming for 50 years. Both have been 4-H leaders. Vicki is a retired para-educator and tutor. Congratulations, Roger and Vicki. From Montreal County, Jim and Rebecca Fragi-Engie run a diversified crop and livestock operation. They grow wheat, soybeans, corn, and canola, and raise cattle. Jim also owns and operates E&E Beef Company. Rebecca is an administration manager of finance at Northrop Grumman Corporation. Congratulations, Jim and Rebecca. From Nelson County, Dave and Carissa Dawes raise registered Red Angus, along with wheat, canola, soybeans, corn, and feedstuffs, such as alfalfa, oats, and corn silage. Dave serves on City Council. Carissa, a 2010 graduate of NDSU, is Secretary-Treasurer for the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. Congratulations, Dave and Carissa. From Oliver County, Clay and Randy Price run a cow-calf operation and feedlot. They also grow grains including soybeans, wheat, dry beans, corn silage, and alfalfa. They use rotational grazing, GPS, and variable rate technology. Randy is a financial analyst for MDU. Congratulations, Clay and Randy. From Pembina County, Alan and Lisa Tucker and Ben and Chris Tucker grow potatoes, sugar beets, navy beans, pinto beans, and hard red spring wheat. Alan is a 1988 graduate of NDSU. Lisa, a 1984 NDSU graduate, is a business administrator. Chris is a 4th grade teacher. Congratulations, Alan and Lisa, and Ben and Chris. From Pierce County, Yolanda Schmidt is a rangeland management specialist for the Natural Resource Conservation Service in Pierce and McHenry counties. Before that, she was an NDSU extension agent in Pierce County. She graduated from NDSU in 2002 and 2021. Congratulations, Yolanda. From Ramsey County, Les and Karn Winju operate a family grain farm that was started by Les's grandfather after World War II. They grow corn, soybeans, spring wheat, barley, canola, and dry edible beans. Karn is retired from Lake Region State College. Congratulations, Les and Karn. From Ransom County, Neil and Lori Olerud raise purebred Simmental cattle. They also sell feed and various equipment and supplies so area farmers and ranchers have easy access without needing to take a 20-plus mile trip to town. Congratulations, Neil and Lori. From Renville County, Parker Gates, alongside his father and grandfather, raises certified wheat, barley, flax, and soybean seed for sale and grows canola and soybeans for market. He serves on the NDSU North Central Research Extension Center Board. Congratulations, Parker. From Richland County, Scott and Shelley Fixon and Scott and Kathy Fixon grow hard red spring wheat, sugar beets, corn, and soybeans. Scott takes care of crop production and machinery maintenance, and Steve takes care of all farm books. Shelley is a full-time mom and grandma, and Kathy worked at a bank. Congratulations, Steve and Shelley, and Scott and Kathy. From Rolette County, Doyle and Carrie Lentz grow barley, wheat, and soybeans and canola using minimum tillage on a fourth-generation farm. The barley they grow is used for malting, pet food, and specialties. Carrie is a registered nurse and 4-H volunteer. Congratulations, Doyle and Carrie. From Sargent County, Eric and Megan Delahoyd grow corn, soybeans, and pinto beans. Eric, a 2004 graduate of NDSU, also owns a seed and crop protection business. Megan is a Sunday school music leader and church education board member. Congratulations, Eric and Megan. From Slope County, Scott and Kelly Arnadick run a commercial cow-calf operation. They have installed miles of pipeline and water tanks to supply fresh water to their rotational grazing systems. Kelly is an elementary principal for Bowman County Schools. Congratulations, Scott and Kelly. From Stark County, Janelle and Harvey Hoff have been ranching for 42 years. They raise dairy and beef cattle, hay, wheat, corn, barley, and oats. Janelle is a food representative for Allison Pantry. Harvey helps Janelle when the pantry's food truck makes its deliveries. Congratulations, Janelle and Harvey. From Steele County, Larry Carlson farms in partnership with his brother Dana. They grow wheat, soybeans, edible beans, and corn, and raise livestock. Larry is a lifetime member of the FFA Alumni Association and was a charter member of the Findlay FFA chapter. Congratulations, Larry and Dana. From Stutzman County, Tony and Amy Rorda grow corn, soybeans, and wheat, run a cow-calf operation, and background calves in a feedlot. Tony is a 4-H leader and volunteer. Amy is a secretary at their church. Congratulations, Tony and Amy. From Towner County, David and Janelle Lajan raise small grains and row crops, including wheat, barley, oats, flax, and canola, along with corn and soybeans. They have 150 cow-calf pairs and 100 sheep. Janelle is a 1986 graduate of NDSU. Congratulations, David and Janelle. From Trail County, David and Gianna Mueller, 2004 graduates of NDSU, grow sugar beets, corn, soybeans, navy beans, wheat, barley, and sunflowers, and raise cattle. David also does catering. Gina is a seed quality lab manager at the North Dakota State Seed Department. Congratulations, David and Gina. From Walsh County, Kent and Stephanie Matichek raise Black Angus cattle and grow wheat, barley, canola, flax, and soybeans. Kent is a third-generation farmer. Stephanie is a school bus driver and administrative assistant for the Lakota School District. Congratulations, Kent and Stephanie. Representing Ward County, Ray and Kathy Kopp grow wheat, sunflowers, flax, soybeans, and canola, and raise beef cows. They have been a no-till operation for 30 years and were the first to grow sunflowers in northern North Dakota. Both attended NDSU. Congratulations, Ray and Kathy. From Wells County, Kent and Carol Wolkenhauer raised cattle and grain near Fessenden. After leaving farming in the 1990s, Kent joined Fessenden Co-op, where he worked until retirement. They served as 4-H leaders and continue to support 4-H in Wells County. Congratulations, Kent and Carol. From Williams County, Bo and Amber Anderson have a diversified farm and cattle ranch operation where they raise barley, durum, spring wheat, soybean, canolas, peas, lentils, corn, hay, and commercial cattle. They use regenerative ag practices. Congratulations, Bo and Amber. In Minnesota, we begin with Becker County. Doug and Rondi Ulmer have run a commercial cow-calf operation for 41 years. Both Doug and Rondi are NDSU graduates. Doug also worked in animal health sales, and Rondi was a science teacher. Congratulations, Doug and Rondi. From Clay County, Dwight and Karen Ockrey have a small beef cow-calf herd and grow spring wheat, corn, grain, soybeans, and alfalfa. Dwight, a 1974 and 1983 graduate of NDSU, was a farm management specialist with NDSU Extension. Karen is a registered nurse. Congratulations, Dwight and Karen. From Grant County, Nick and Megan Olson raise grass-finished beef, forest pastured pork, grass-fed lamb, organic pearl barley, organic red fife wheat, and organic black beans. Nick is a business process improvement manager, Megan, a homeschool teacher and homemaker. Congratulations, Nick and Megan. From Marshall County, Travis and Penny Anderson grow wheat, corn, and soybeans. They also operate a grain bin and grain handling equipment business. Travis, an NDSU graduate, coaches youth basketball, and Penny is a homemaker and religion teacher at their church. Congratulations, Travis and Penny. From Otter Tail County, Tim and Jesselyn Rasmussen grow corn and soybeans and operate TR Seed LLC. They are committed to investing in the land for future generations. Both graduated from NDSU in 2016. Jesselyn is an Ag Country Senior Credit Analyst. Congratulations, Tim and Jesselyn. From Polk County, Mike and Deanne Skaug grow corn and soybeans using reduced tillage, spring and fall cover crops, split application of fertilizer, and crop-advised pest control. Both attended NDSU. Deanne was an insurance agent for 25 years. Congratulations, Mike and Deanne. And from Wilkin County, Vance and Aaron Johnson grow corn, soybeans, sugar beets, and wheat. They work with their local soil and water conservation district on tillage and cover crop demonstration. Eric manages the Student Success Center at North Dakota State College of Science, and there are congratulations to Vance and Aaron. And we missed from Sioux County, Jake and Angie Eagle have a cow-calf operation the past 13 years using cover crops, no-till planting, rotational practices, pasture waterline projects, and plant trees for shelter belts. Jake is a past director for Tribal Roads and serves as a member for youth interested in pursuing a career in agriculture. Our congratulations, Jake and Angie. And from Norman County, Rod and Anita Olson raises sugar beets, wheat, soybeans, and black beans on their 5th generation farm. Their son recently joined them, becoming the 6th generation. In addition to farming, Anita also works for Ag Country Farm Credit. Congratulations, Rod and Anita. Let's give a round of applause for all of the wonderful county honorees.
Again, congratulations to the county honorees. Your hard work and community involvement make this region as strong as it is. It's the time of the evening now to recognize our Agribusiness Award recipient. The Agribusiness Award recognizes individuals who have distinguished themselves in the area of agriculture. Several past recipients are here tonight. Would past recipients please stand? Lyndon Johnson, Jerry Doan, Neil Fisher, Howard Olson, Mike Warner, and Roald Lund. Let's give these industry leaders a round of applause. The Agribusiness Award is a special honor that is given to a person who has led a distinguished career in agriculture. Ken Grafton, this year's Agribusiness Award recipient, had a remarkable 40-year career at NDSU and is widely respected for his research and leadership accomplishments. Ken began his NDSU career as a postdoctoral research associate and ultimately became the Vice President of Agricultural Affairs and NDSU's interim provost. In each of those roles, Ken prioritized relationships and sought to promote the values and needs of the university and the state. Governor Doug Burgum asked if he could say a few words on behalf of Ken Grafton. Governor?
Well, it's very fitting tonight in the 48th awarding of the Agribusiness Award at the Harvest Bowl, at the 48th Harvest Bowl, that we're honoring Ken Grafton. I think when you think about all the honorees that came across the stage tonight, you think about how many of those they said they were an NDSU grad, they were an NDSU grad, they were an NDSU grad. And we think about what this institution has done to extend agriculture in our state, and you think about the influence that one teacher, one professor, one researcher can have on the lives of others through that individual connection. But then when you think about that the research that one individual does leads to not 1, not 2, not 5, not 10, but 11 new varieties of beans, and the impact that that's had economically, it's almost hard to measure that impact. When my cousins, the Peltiers, and I, my older brother Brad, we were all growing up working at the elevator in Arthur, we weren't handling dry edible beans. Dry edible beans, were kind of barely getting going at that time. But when Ken arrived about the time that all of us were graduating from NDSU, that began this long path where we went from having not even a program that was focused in this area to where across navy beans and pinto beans and all of these beans, where all of a sudden now when I talk to other governors, say, hey, North Dakota, we lead the nation in 11 crops. Well, these edible beans are all on the top of the list, up there with the, sunflower and durum wheat and hard red spring wheat and of course honey. We lead in that, which is pretty sweet too. In North Dakota, if the number 2 provider of honey to the nation doubled their production, North Dakota would still be number 1. But anyway, the impact that Ken has had and the teams that he's led, and then in going from postdoc researcher all the way up to the leading, and what he's did with SBER and with the extension and all that is really amazing. And then of course, and as a scientist involved in the developing of these beans, including North Star and Eclipse, and then of course he's got the one pinto bean named Maverick. He was way ahead on that, and I guess he's maybe expecting that he's going to be the top gun now of bean producing. But the guy is so humble now. He's like, as soon as I say he's top gun, he looks down at the table. He's like so North Dakota now, and we adopted him. We've had him for 40 years, but one of the most humble people you will ever meet. I understand he didn't even want this award, and he's hoping this evening's going to be over. One of those guys. You all know people like that, but anyway, I thought, he's worried about being called the top gun. We already named a city after him in North Dakota, Grafton. I mean, come on. So I suppose now we're gonna have to name another one Ken too. But I just want to say that it's been such an impactful career, and if you're in agriculture, and if you've ever had any kind of beans as part of your rotation, you probably need to say, be part of that standing ovation tonight for Ken, because the impact over those number of decades has had on our state. And then, of course, that has led to value-added processing. It's led to tens of millions of dollars of investment where people have built plants in our state to help process those. And it's helped us, build a program where then we attract more research. So again, we know that research matters, and it's and NDSU being a leader in that. So I do want to thank Dr. Cook for coming to North Dakota, bringing your expertise from 2 great ag schools. And Kate, you guys are off to such a great start here. Just incredible start, and grateful for that. They really are doing a fantastic job, and I know they're going to do a super job leading this university. And I'm grateful for that, because he understands the importance of ag research. For tonight, Ken, to make this a little easier on you, so it's not like, hey, it's all about me, I got a suggestion for you. Take this award and accept it on behalf of every future student and every student you've worked with, that next graduate student, that undergraduate, that postdoc, with the idea that when you take this award, it might inspire them to try to do what you've done over 4 decades and what the difference that you've made in the state. Thank goodness NDSU recruited you to come here and not to some other state. Think of that when you think take this award and understand one person can make a huge, huge difference. So on behalf of the state of North Dakota, on behalf of everybody involved in agriculture, I just wanted to take a couple minutes here to add to the honoring of you tonight for truly doing an incredible job. And so again, thank you, NDSU, for this selection. Even though he didn't want it, tried to turn it down, said he shouldn't get it, classic. But it's so important, because it speaks not only to Ken and his career, but to the impact of this university and everybody who's involved in ag research at the extension level and at any level. So again, it's going to be a fantastic evening. I'm glad your whole family's here to help you celebrate. It is completely deserved. So if you get up here and say, I don't deserve it, then everybody just boo, okay? Because that's not true, all right? Okay, but let's get on with the evening. But again, right now, let's give it up for Ken Grafton. First round of applause of many. Thank you.
Thanks, Governor. I need to mention that there was an omission in the script when I was introducing past recipients of this award. Eddie Bernhardson is here Eddie is a recipient of the award. He was chair of this event for many years, instrumental in bringing it to what it is today. We certainly didn't intend to miss you, Eddie. Thank you very much for what you've done. All right. Now, here to tell us more about Ken Grafton is his former colleague, Rich Horsley, head of NDSU's Plant Sciences Department. Rich?
Well, it's my honor tonight to do this introduction for Ken. You know, institutional legacies are built by people, and tonight, as we gather to celebrate NDSU's legacy of excellence in agriculture and athletics, we are really here to celebrate the people behind the scenes, behind the success. Tonight, I'm honored to introduce one of those people, the 2022 Agribusiness Award recipient. The Agribusiness Awards is a special honor that is given to a person who has led a distinguished career in agriculture. Please join me in extending a heartfelt congratulations to the 2022 Agricultural Award recipient, a man who's had a remarkable 40-year career here at NDSU, Dr. Ken Grafton. Ken was a colleague of mine in the Department of Plant Sciences. When I joined the faculty here in NDSU in 1988, Ken was already a faculty member. He was very well known as a talented dry bean breeder, but he also evolved into one of the most successful administrators NDSU has ever had. Ken went from being a faculty member to Dean of the College of Ag, Vice President for Agricultural Affairs, and finally to the Director of the North Dakota Agricultural Experiment Station. When he became my boss, I always felt that he had my back. Ken was trustworthy. You can't have anything more than that than having a boss that really has your back. That makes life so much easier. But Ken was also so well respected as a plant breeder. I know I went down to my winter nursery in Arizona one time when Ken went into administration, and my cooperator, who knew Ken very well, because he grew Ken's beans up in Washington State, said, "Why in the world is he leaving, become an administrator?" That's like the worst thing you could ever do, is to go from a plant breeder to be an administrator. But, and so that's a story I'll never forget. You know, if you grow black beans, or if you eat black beans, more than likely they're Eclipse beans developed by Ken. All of the restaurants then serve them. And so he's developed so many varieties. As an administrator, Ken had an exceptional talent for identifying and communicating critical needs. During his tenure as director of the NDAES, virtually every research extension center across the state experienced significant investments in their research labs, headquarter buildings, auxiliary buildings, and technology. It was unprecedented. Besides that, here on campus, Ken worked with the State Board of Agricultural Research and Education to establish the Jack Dalrymple Agricultural Research Complex, the Senator Bill Bowman Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory, the Beef Cattle Research Complex, and more transformational capital projects. Together with SBARE, Ken also advanced several important initiatives focusing on the critical areas of research and infrastructure at the main station and at all the research extension centers across the state. When I think of Ken's research and leadership, the word that comes to mind is visionary. Someone who's able to see that full picture. Throughout Ken's career, agriculture was going through major changes and improvements in technology, and Ken had to make sure that NDSU didn't fall behind. He always made sure that NDSU's research and extension efforts remained relevant, and he was able to do that because he saw that full picture. At NDSU and across the whole state, we are where we are right now in agriculture, research, and extension because of Ken's vision. It is a testament to his leadership and the respect he had among faculty and staff here at NDSU that he was also asked to serve as the interim provost for the university. Ken has used his passion and talents in agricultural research, teaching, and administration to develop innovative bean varieties to feed our state, region, and world, to work with legislators to enrich research facilities across the state, to integrate new technology that has advanced research and learning, and to uplift NDSU agriculture so that it remains a competitive program of national prominence. During his career, Ken was highly respected, not only among his colleagues here at NDSU, but across the state. The commodity organizations, the Farmers Union, the Farm Bureau, and all of these groups, Ken had great respect among all of them, and then ultimately, with the legislature up to the governor's office itself. His former colleague, Dwayne Houck, credits Ken's strong relationship to his honesty and his ability to communicate why agricultural advancements are so critical in order for North Dakota to continue to prosper. You've heard many times tonight that Ken is a humble man. He resonates with what he represents, a strong research background and a strong agricultural integrity. We are honoring Ken tonight not only for his individual talent, but because he paved a way for new opportunities, for growth, for continued and greater excellence. Congratulations once again to the 2022 Agricultural Agribusiness Award recipient, Ken Grafton. Thank you. Thank you for all you've done.
Good evening. I know I'm the last speaker between you and bingo, so I'll make this as very, very brief as possible, particularly since everybody else has said so many kind words about what I did or what I didn't do. I think some people have indicated that I am humble. I am, but I think that my background is such that I really value teamwork. I value teamwork so much that I would rather have somebody get an accolade than have someone else give me an accolade. So I hope you understand my reluctance to talk about this. And honestly, when President Cook mentioned to me that I would get this award, or I was being considered for this award, which, by the way, I'm just blown away with. I'm the 48th person. My gosh, I mean, I'm in rarefied atmosphere here. I really had to take some time to think about whether or not I wanted it, because I know that there are scores of individuals that deserve this more than me. Because anything that I did or anything that was accomplished under my role as an administrator or as a plant breeder was because of the team. Individuals, and I'm going to paraphrase a comment that President Cook made at his first State of the University address, is that when you walk into the room and you know you're not the smartest person, that's a good thing. You always want to hire individuals that are smarter than you. You do not want to be in a situation where people do not have not only the capability, but the desire and the capability of speaking properly about topics and bringing in new ideas. And I think that's what was very fortunate for me. If you heard Dr. Horsley talk about a lot of stuff, and I believe it was actually getting pretty deep in here, but I think when I visited with the department chairs and the REC directors, and they came up with ideas, we found ways to make sure that they moved forward, and we were very successful. And I want to thank the legislature, both chambers. I want to thank the governor's office for their willingness to understand that investment, or that money's going into agricultural research and extension is an investment in the future. I had some great colleagues, Dwayne Houck, President Brashani, who gave me an opportunity to continue to move forward in various roles at NDSU. And I don't necessarily want to thank everyone, because I'd be here till Tuesday, because there are just so many people that have impacted my career and NDSU. One thing I do want to do is because my grandson is getting really tired, and I think if you thought the jazz band was loud, you don't know anything. But I want to introduce my family because they've been behind me the entire time. My wife, Christy, of 45 years, 2 months, and 2 days. She's God's gift because I don't know anybody else that would put up with me for 45 years, 2 months, and 2 days. My older daughter, Andrea, and her husband, John, from Salt Lake City. Do you want to stand up? My younger daughter, Emily, and her husband, Drew, from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Both graduates of NDSU, by the way. And my grandchildren, Quinn, who's 10, just turned 10 on Halloween, by the way. Yep. Isla, who's 7, and really wants to come up on stage. She's the performer of the family, I think. And Declan, who is my best bud at 5 years old. But I have a lot of people to thank. The REC directors, the department chairs, other administrators, but really I have to thank the legislature back in 1995 creating the State Board of Ag Research and Education. When, as a faculty member at that time, we were scared to death that there was going to be an oversight board on agricultural research. And it was created essentially because of the issues regarding wheat and barley fusarium head blight. Many people in the state felt that we were not doing work quickly enough to solve that problem. It turned out that it was a very, very difficult problem to solve. But so they created the state board to oversee and actually to administer the budget of the Ag Experiment Station in 1997, the Extension Service. The State Board of Agricultural Research and Education went about looking at all of the programs that we had at NDSU at that time in agriculture and evaluated the responsibilities of those programs, the output of those programs, and continued to not only identify ways to improve, but shore up ways that we could improve. The legislature and the governor's office, and again, Governor Burgum, I thank you very much for those kind words. Again, it was getting deep, but I understand. Some people have to say some things, and I don't. I guess I'm going longer than I wanted to, but there are some very, very important people here tonight, and those are the past chairs of SBARE. And I do want to recognize those individuals because they are true citizen volunteers. And it was a very, very important and critical component of our success because these individuals would take the time, not only the chairs, but the SBARE boards, but would take the time to talk to legislators across the state and to bring forward the idea that, again, that money spent on agricultural research and extension is really for the benefit of the state of North Dakota. We, as the governor said, we feed the world. We've got great natural resources. We need to protect all of those. And the two most important resources that we have in this state, and I have to admit, I'm no longer a citizen of North Dakota. So Governor Burgum, you're not going to get my vote. So, but it's only because I can't vote in North Dakota anymore. It is because is our people. We have a work ethic, or I should say, North Dakotans have a work ethic that is second to none, and our soil. There was a motto for the land and its people, and the experiment station and the extension service take that to heart. So SBARE was critical in that, and I want to try to introduce the individuals the SBARE leaders, the chairs that I worked with. Jerry Doan, who's the first one. Jerry, do you want to stand up, please, if you don't mind? So Jerry Doan was the first one. And we were wondering if he was ever going to step down, but he did a fantastic job, and actually the most important job because he had to set the parameters of what this state board was going to do. Followed by Tom Archbold. Tom, you want to stand up? I see you. You might as well stand up. Jerry Efforts, and I don't think Jerry could make it here tonight, from Velva, North Dakota. Then Rodney Howe. Rodney, can you stand, please? I think from a glitch in the rules, Rodney became the longest-serving chair, or the longest-serving person ever to be on SBARE, because he filled a position, vacant position, then he took 2 terms of his own. So nobody else can do that ever again, because the rules have been changed again. I think Rodney did that on purpose. And then Mike Belts followed Rodney as chair of SBARE, and now Mike is a representative from District 20. So, and he just got reelected. So congratulations, Mike. And there are, in the last chair of SBARE that I worked with personally was Keith Peltier. I don't want to say he was a relation to the governor, but I think everybody knows that he is. So, and you know, we've always had tough times with funding. So what we needed to do is just continue to send the message that agriculture, investments in agriculture, pays in the long run. And I think the governor has articulated that much better than I ever could. I just want to thank everybody for your time. Again, bingo is probably occurring. We should probably leave right now. And thank you very much. I do accept this award, but as the governor said, I accept it on behalf of the faculty and staff and students at NDSU. They did all the hard work. They made my job easy. Thank you very much.
Again, congratulations, Ken. It's been my pleasure now to be involved in 2 times that Ken has been honored. Last year as inducted into the North Dakota Agricultural Hall of Fame, and again this evening. Well deserved. So, thank you everyone for coming this evening. A couple of quick announcements. For the county honorees, please remember to go to the Fargo Dome tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning for more activities. We do invite everyone to join us on the south side of the stage for Bison Bingo and a chance to win some great prizes. Again, congratulations to our student athletes, to Ken Grafton and the Harvest Bowl honorees. Okay, everybody, horns up. Go Bison. Thank you. Thank you.